like, look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Our new co-host that will be taking Richard's spot on the show is Mr. Emily Music! My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Alcohol. A good Christian boy.
Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying a goat. I love goat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Where's the button? Damn it, it's changing. To Iron Age. That's not the button. Why is the button not working? There it is. Why? Oh, that's right. I remember. I know. Because it's not my actual screen. I need to change that. Hi, what's going on, everybody? It's Friday night. Oh my God, we made it to Friday night. I'm excited about this. We were just talking backstage. So, like all month, or for like the last like month and a half, for like the last month, I thought we had September like completely booked. Turns out, no, we didn't. And this poor man that we have on tonight is like, hey, dude, like I've got some time off. And we're like, no, we're booked out. I told him like a week and a half ago. I was like, not like, dude, like we're booked out for the month. And I go to this week and I look at the calendar and I'm like, hey guys, who do we have booked for this week? My awesome co-hosts are like, bro, what? That's not our job. We don't. What are you talking about? Why would we book people? So they were
3 out of 4.
Dude, they were helpful. They were very helpful. You were helpful, Daniel. That's what I'm going to call you.
I was most helpful.
Not yet. It's like shit. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh fuck, you know what? I'm like, God, if he can swing it, let's see if we can get him. So our guest tonight, he's had a project he's been very excited to talk about and wanted to get on the show for a little while. And I feel like I was blowing him off, not because I wanted to blow him off, but because we scheduling and just things, and that seems to be how it is. So over in the live chat, we've got Tim Allen. What's going on? Crimson Law, it's good to see you. We got Whimsyland. We got Everly Music. We got Garham, John A. Douglas. What's going on? Horizon Talker and Liu. It's good to see you over there, guys. It is going to be a fantastic evening. Oh, good Lord. I just realized something. I almost never introduce myself. Do I even do that? No, fuck it. Hey, Daniel from Whimsyland. What's going on? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Royce? Of A Drink with Crazy?
Oh, that's weird. That's awkward. Oh, I don't like it when people.
How does that feel?
Yeah, not doing that. That's weird.
You made it weird.
I don't know why, dude. He does that. I don't know why. Like, it's this thing that Daniel does.
Yes, it
Squirm.
is.
Squirm.
Sits there and watches the stream while he's on the stream. It's this. He does a lot of weird things. It's fucking. I don't get it. It's why. Just so I. But yeah.
The only things I do are drink and know things.
Yeah, I'm realizing that the shit brown shirt that I'm wearing does not look good on camera.
That's what all the men were thinking.
I
That's
don't.
What,
dude.
the only thought in our head was.
Well, I have to think about these things. Because I'm running the show, and I don't know, but I didn't even know where this shirt came from. I literally had to ask
fine. You look fine.
I was like, because my closet's black, gray, and I think all my white shirts are destroyed at this point in time. So I think I have black and gray shirts. I have a couple of green ones for the show, and I looked at this one and was like, I don't know what shirt this is. I'm like, babe, where did you get this? And she's like, oh. I was in a bag of clothes, like, you know, some people, they were giving away a bunch of stuff for like the kids, and she's like, I saw that and I figured it would fit you, and I'm like, oh, I'll wear it. I don't. Anyway, men's fashion aside, Emily Music, how are you doing? Because Daniel didn't say nothing, and I can't control that.
I'm doing pretty good. I got all kinds of things. So I got all kinds of fun stuff in the goodie deliveries this week. I got a book from Eric Quagg about Scarda.
Excellent book.
So I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'll throw that in the TBR pile, but I'm looking forward to it. Eric Quagg about Scarda.
I was like,
Wag!
what?
Wag!
What words are you saying?
Oh, the people
Eric
know.
I was
Wag!
gonna say it sounded like there was something stuck in your throat. And that was gay.
And I also got this came in, so I haven't had a chance to go through it. But you know, the
Which one's
first
that?
one was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
there
The
you
price
go.
point, yeah. The second issue, we're gonna learn about Saoirse. So $7. I was like,
That
sure.
is,
first one was a
I'm
good time.
sorry, dude. That's I love what they're doing over at the Rippaverse. That is a retarded name.
Which one? Saoirse?
Yeah, that one.
Oh no, it's a great name.
No. The name sounds really cool, but when you read it and you can't say it properly, I think that's a marketing faux
Sarah Z.
pas.
I like
it's
it.
a-
I like that
I
they're
think it's a
leaning into
marketing
it.
faux pas. I don't know.
Kind of like, well, look at my band
But
name. Okay, I'm a fan.
That's true. That's true.
But
yeah.
the
He just
highlight.
likes girly names.
Dude, you named your band, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a chick," and you're like, "I am not." Actually.
One of my favorites was there was one time I was in the chat is when you had the Saskas on, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" And they were like, "Hi, goddess." Cracked me up. I was like, I'm not gonna tell him I'm a guy. I'll just let it roll. But the highlight of this week was this little gem came in. I think DPR knows this one. So issue number 2 of G Sedai #2 in comic, which is awesome. So adaptation of the wonderful novel. Well, not this novel. This is the newest one, but you get the idea. So it was a really good read. So it was cool. It's fun whenever things show up, and I forgot when things are coming and all that. So it was great.
Eventually,
And then-
we'll get to story number 2, but right now it's just story number 1.
Yeah. Second
There you go.
part of that. So I was
There you
jumping around. And then this week was awesome too, because on the Iron Seas we got to talk about Scott Pilgrim, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And we also did a special where we talked about.
Wait, that's one of your favorite.
Oh
movies
yeah,
of all-
after Lord of the Rings, it's right there. Absolutely, I love that movie.
What?
Have
Dude,
you?
It's like
Just
no brainer.
every week he says things, and I'm just like, why? Why did we? Daniel, I blame you for this. This is on you.
You're welcome.
Have you seen the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off on
No,
Netflix?
I'm not. Doesn't exist. I'm not watching that. No, can't do it. But and then we also did a one-off special on Yumi the Nightmare Praetor from Brandon Sanderson, which was awesome because I got to do the stream. My wife was like a guest on it, so Mrs. Everly was there, and it was really
that's
cool to have her on stream. So that was fun. So it's been a good week.
Very cool.
That's awesome, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a member of the A Drink with Crazy community, as well as somebody putting out comics over on his website. I'm going to drop that link down below. Andrew Rowland, good sir, how are you doing? How have you been this week, man? What's going on?
I've been doing good. I'm busy at my full-time job, you know, and then like just work on my comic during my free time.
Oh, I think that's what a lot of people are doing too, dude. It's the grind. I have gotten
How it
to
works.
a point where, because like obviously my YouTube videos, like that would be my equivalent of like working on like my thing, and I'm like I basically just have to do it on weekends now. I'm like, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna do like I'm gonna try to record like 2 or 3, maybe 4 videos this weekend and try to get them all ready and set up for like the next week's release and try to do it that way to manage my time a little better. But yeah, I totally get it, dude. Trying to work stuff in. The biggest thing after the day job thing is just the fatigue that's been hitting me lately at the end of the day. Like that didn't used to hit me, and now it's hitting me like hard. And I'm like, fuck, I want to work on my stuff, but I'm like, I'm really tired, and I'm gonna go to bed.
Oh yeah, there are like a lot of days where, you know, I might get home from work and I'm like, I don't want to draw right now. I don't want to, you know. So I just watch TV or YouTube videos instead.
My thing is, so a lot of like the videos and stuff that I do they're off the cuff. I don't script a lot. Like doing like the full like blown scripted videos, I would love to do them and love to do the research and stuff. And eventually maybe I will have the time to do that. But right now I just don't. So a lot of what I do is just off the cuff, rants. Obviously, I try to make sure I get a good take. Sometimes I get it in one take. Sometimes I get it in 5. But if I go down, if I get to a point, it's like, okay, Royce, before you go record your videos, do your process, like think through what you're going to say. And when I'm like, all right, it's time to think about what I'm going to say, and my brain goes, hello, I'm like, okay, if I can't formulate cognizant thought, I am not doing a video tonight. Because I have done that before, and I have been disappointed by it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to put out, like, even if I'm just going to rant, I'm not going to put out a subpar rant. That's not what we're going to do. So that is the grind, though, is go to work, do your thing, make sure you get it going. One thing though that I know is you've been working on your book for a long time, and on top of that, you ended up finding this stream and other streams and really dialing in kind of where you wanted the direction of it to go. But I think ultimately it starts off with like did you ever think you were going to write a book? Did you ever think you were going to write a comic, or were you just like a comic enjoyer for a long time, and then you got to a point where you're just like, I don't like this anymore?
I was always like an artist, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it until I read the manga, Bakuman, which is basically about.
I have heard about that.
Like, I have it right here. This right here, where it's literally about the Japanese manga industry.
Oh,
and
that's why I've heard about it.
Yeah, the name sounded vaguely familiar.
That
cool.
I was like, I have heard that is that book absolutely roasts the Japanese manga industry.
And it's actually the series that inspired me to draw my own comics, and and I also watched the anime. I think it's still on Hulu, and also on Disney Plus. Since they're sharing the library now. Yes, like if you ever want to get inspired to make comics, like Bakuman is the series to read and watch.
I need to check that out. There's a lot of stuff that, like I said, I have people just kind of recommend stuff now, and I'll review it and give my thoughts on that. And I am
like, if there was ever like an anime for you to review for one of your videos, so like it's gotta be this one. Especially when especially with this show, where it's about promoting comic creators. I think this is a no-brainer.
You know what? You're gonna have to drop that in the Discord for me so I remember. And after I do, because I'm gonna do the Apothecary Diaries season 1 like review this weekend. I'm also gonna talk about the teaser trailer for the next teaser trailer, the newest teaser trailer deuce for the new Devil May Cry animated show that they're doing. That looks like I have thoughts on it. but I need another show to watch, and I'm not quite sold on what I'm going to watch it, but maybe I'll check that one out and go in on that one and see what we do. So how long ago? So walk us back. So you said you've been an artist for a long time. Where did that start for you?
Like ever since I was like very little. But I started to get inspired to draw comics like when I was like in community college. And like I met some friends there, where I also met my editor for my comic, and I've been working on this King of Justice story for ever since then. So probably like over like 10 years.
Oh wow,
yeah.
And I've actually finished like a different version of the series, but then I stopped and started over, and like that just aggravated my editor to no end. He was like, stop restarting. Just keep going with it. and this is where I'm like, nope, whatever happens, like just keep going, don't reboot, but just keep going.
I mean, sometimes you got to. Sometimes you're not going to get it perfect, and you just got to push through. And I think a lot of authors, well, I mean, Daniel probably knows that struggle all too well. It's like, well, I've already restarted this story once or twice. I probably should just keep going. And I think a lot, and I've actually heard from a lot of authors that we've interviewed. They're like, it's kind of shit or get off the pot type situation. It's like you've got to just do it eventually.
You
Yeah.
can get lost in the hell of rewrites.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that, Daniel, that you work with that like just want to get lost in the rewrites? And it's like, well, this wasn't the best, but we can improve on that in the future. Like, oh, I'll just rewrite the whole section. Like, do you get that ever?
I get it in conversations. None of my clients do it. It's
Gotcha.
people tend to get stuck in that, and they don't sign up for like the work itself. So they'll just say, hey, I'll get back to you when I'm ready. And I'm like, okay. But I know that it's every week they're just rewriting their opening over and over and over again ad nauseum.
That's like,
It's tough because you want the best product, and sometimes you read things and your own thoughts
Yeah.
change over time, and it's like, oh, I can make this better, or maybe I do this differently. I mean, Royce, with music, you probably did this too, where
Oh, yeah.
it's
dude,
tough.
there were like verses that I would get stuck on. There was one, like a song that I really love from my high school. It's probably like the first song that I actually wrote that was like decent. And I still have it. It's like still out there that you can find it. But I could not figure out the second verse for a year because just nothing fit. And it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter. I could not. So it was like my buddy's kind of like, dude, it's really good. Like, we wish I had a second verse, but this is just like, yeah, it's a one verse song. That's just how it kind of ends up sometimes. And it just, dude, I wrote God knows how many times and just tried to riff it. And and if it just doesn't come to you, it just doesn't come to you. Right. And I think it's, I don't know if it's worse as a musician versus like an author, because like I always had, like, when you're a musician, I always had like 5 or 6 or 7 other songs that I could kind of go to that were working and they were doing, the thing that I wanted them to do. But then you come back to that one song. You're like, yeah, with an author, it's like, oh yeah, I don't have 7 or 8 or 9 other books that I'm working on, because books are a little longer than a song. I don't know if you know that, but they are.
The process is still pretty similar, though. And really, writer's block is a lack of preparedness in that whatever it is that you're doing at the time is more off the cuff than planned.
Well, and that's where music is, like, you'll get stuck, because sometimes you're just kind of horsing around with your buddies. Yep. And all of a sudden you're just like, we just wrote a song. Now we just need lyrics that fit. Like, sometimes that just happens. So you started off the cuff and now you have to do this thing. And
yep.
Like,
you got to go back and prepare it.
Yeah. And sometimes it works. And sometimes hey, we'll table this. Let's put that on the back burner for a little while. I'll fiddle with it like once a week or whatever until I figure something out. And sometimes it takes months or years to come up with lyrics to just a really killer fucking riff. I still have a riff that I wrote years ago, and my buddy and we worked out a bunch of details to a song, and and I still don't have lyrics to that thing. And but I think that's one of the differences in between being a musician and being like in the book world. Is that, again, a 5-minute song I can put down on a page. You guys cannot put a book down on a page. Like, I can write 20 different songs and pick the 5 best out of them to put an EP out, where you guys don't really have that luxury,
It's maybe, as far as time management is concerned, no, but it's the same theory.
Yeah.
I have a whole novel that I haven't released because I don't think it's written properly.
Really?
Yeah, I've told you this before. Rise of the Patriot. I have 120,000 words written, and it's broken up into 2 half books and 1 extra opener, because none of them fit the way I want them to, and I'm not going to put it out until it's making the moves that I want it to make. So it just sits there and it collects dust until something hits me and I think, okay, maybe I'll try it with this style and see how it works out. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, and I guess, and yeah, you actually, I know all the projects that you have, so
Yeah, I have this like sort of blessed moment in that I'm working on multiple things at once. So if I get stuck on one, I just go and move on to another project.
that's
and
legitimately the musician. That's just, I'm not feeling this one today. We're gonna go to this one.
Right.
Yep.
So I just go, just move on to the next project and work on that one until, I run out of preparedness, my planning or whatever it is that I came up with, and then move on to the next one. And it just sort of circles. But if I was only working on one thing, it can be a bit frustrating.
Right. Yeah, I get it. By the way, really quickly, just because my wife popped in, happy anniversary, my love, and happy birthday.
Woo!
14 years. 14 years. We've been married 11 years. Although she said 10. She's a liar. We've been married 14. We've been married 11.
There's 1 year she doesn't want to think about.
Or
It's actually, yeah, that's probably not too far off of the truth, to be perfectly honest.
it's been so great. It's just time flew by. It's only felt like 10
yeah,
because everything's so perfect.
Yeah,
all it is.
that's what it was. It was time flew by. Very,
No.
Yeah, that's no, but my lovely wife, she's out getting a birthday tattoo. Oh, okay. I get it now. That was
Was it about you?
apparently not. I don't. Wow. She's like that, just like a woman, to recontextualize the conversation halfway through, so you don't know what you're fighting about. That's
Not
But
sure
that's-
shots
that's not what
fired is
even-
the right
that's-
way to
that's
go
not
about
what
an
even
anniversary.
I was like talking about, like what we were fighting about. And she's like, that's what I was fighting about. Like, no, it wasn't. You weren't like, that's not. You weren't fighting with me about that 10 seconds ago, and now we're fighting about this thing, and we still have an unresolved thing. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go to the garage and drink beer. Have a.
Bye, Royce.
All right, it's our show now.
It's always been our show.
What do you mean his show? It's our show.
Jeez, that was quick.
Did you shotgun that beer?
Yeah, I was
What's
gonna
going on
say
here?
No. No.
no.
I don't.
Your sword's crooked.
I know.
Throw it
Yeah.
out there.
I'll make it more crooked. I mentioned that to Shad and Mike Miller.
Phrasing.
String. It's fine. I'm all right with it. What are you? You're not good with crooked swords? What do you got about crooked? It's a little left. Who cares? It's not.
That would be because I'm straight
Unlike that sword. Badooms.
and its owner.
Okay, so we're here to talk about a Christian-inspired comic tonight, gentlemen.
Oh, right. We
Yeah,
have to
God.
behave ourselves like
Yeah.
we're in church. My bad.
God is watching. I mean, God's always watching, but we'll just pretend it's more tonight. as Daniel starts,
He'll be paying extra attention tonight.
Daniel starts shotgunning a whiskey. Oh no! Oh, that's not good. Oh, so
I'm Catholic. I can get away with it.
oh, that's the excuse we use now. Okay,
Yeah.
why is this broken now, kids?
So, see, Catholic guilt makes everything else not weigh so much on the scales.
Oh God. So, jeez. So you've been drawing and doing artist work since you were a kid. You really started pushing to work on your comic. King of Justice, you said, is King of Justice 10 years in the making, or is just everything that you've been doing? So King of Justice.
Yep.
So, and King of Justice over on xpcomics.com, guys, go check this out. He uploaded it as like an audio visual comic on YouTube a while back, and that was really interesting. I went through, I checked it out. I did have some critiques about the audio, but outside of that, now you are
He
getting
always has critiques about the
of
audio.
course I have critiques about the audio. That's like, I don't have bad audio. That's just, it's not that hard. And it legitimately isn't. You just have to know how audio works. Why is it not functioning? I think I broke your webpage.
How dare you, sir?
So, I'll pull it up here. Well, is King of Justice available now? And then I went there and it was like, oh, leave a comment, name, location, comment, and it doesn't give
There,
anything.
pull up share the screen. If you can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I am confused. So here's the store. Do we get more in the store? Okay,
Yeah.
because I was on the home page. Okay. Wait, no. Why is it not doing the thing? Do the thing. Oh,
Julie, do the thing.
right. See, you get it. That's a Korra reference, by the way,
Yes.
for those who aren't cool enough to have watched the entire series.
Royce
Yep.
and Cole.
We know,
Sitting
Royce.
in a
We
tree.
know.
They still try to give me crap about that. They're like, "Oh, it was a bad show." I'm like, "Yeah, that's really great for somebody who didn't finish the show." It's everybody who says it was a bad show. Watch the first season.
It's a terrible
Yeah.
show.
Oh, what's that? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yes.
So there's a physical and there's a PDF version. I think if you click on the titles, it'll like get you there.
For sure. Let me do. No, it's only letting me highlight the titles.
Let me see.
Very weird. So
Are you sure that just click on the title?
it's not letting me click on the title. It's literally letting me highlight the title, but it won't let me click on the title.
Yeah, same thing on my end.
Let me
Weird.
see.
Oh, we found a
XP.
glitch. We found a glitch in the matrix. So, all right. So, do us a favor. So, what is King of Justice? How did you come up with it? Walk us through the whole story.
I was more inspired by by Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia. I've wanted to write a Christian themed story, but I did not want it to be like a cheesy preachy story. So I took inspiration from Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia. Just put the story in its own world, and I just wanted to write a story where the story and the characters drive the message instead of where the characters and the story drive the message instead of like the other way around. And then I realized, well, why not just put it in its own world, so you can just make up your own rules. So that's where I came up with like this superhuman world, and God in the story who's named Elohim, just like how in Narnia, God is Aslan. And I think there's there's God in Middle Earth, but I can't remember what it can't remember what the name was.
Iluvatar.
Oh yeah.
Ila Luvatar was the god of Tolkien. Well, you
Creation.
wouldn't know that unless you either spent many hours listening to Men of the West.
Tolkien.
Not even Tolkien, just like Men of the West is great, or you actually have the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Or the letters. I would love to get my hands on the letters, the complete collection of the letters of Tolkien. I am more interested in Tolkien the man than I am interested in his story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the way that he was able to articulate his thoughts, even in conversation, is so interesting.
Yeah.
And we don't get people who are that eloquent with their words today in person. And it really makes you think, wow, this is definitely not a man who was not educated. This is absolutely a man who was highly educated, highly knowledgeable. And funny enough, like he still to this day, the college that he taught at doesn't actually hold him in very high regard. They've pretty much made fun of him for the entire history of, the Lord of the Rings. They thought, they couldn't believe that a grown man was writing fairy stories.
fairy stories.
Right.
Those are for children, like
Mm.
these comic books.
Quiet.
Yeah, no, but that's legitimately how it. But I mean, look at it nowadays. I mean, you still like I just did a video a few weeks ago that stupid conservative woman calling. I love that that a lot of the conservatives are sitting there going, oh, gamers are ugly because gaming is just a stupid hobby. And it's like, oh, if you do gaming or comic books or tabletop or any of this stuff, and it's like, but yet all of these people would highly respect Tolkien. And he was the guy essentially writing his own free.
By the way, D&D would not exist without Tolkien. Mic drop.
We're not gonna get into that, but no, and it's just one of those things. It's really
Wasn't
hilarious.
the point of the post.
Oh god. But yeah, no, it was just fun. It's just funny to see the backlash and creators of to again what Tolkien did and to be inspired by him and the generations of people that he did inspire was absolutely incredible. He also thought some people were weird about it. Like he did not like the fact that people wanted to have a Hobbit wedding in America and him to officiate it. He thought that was very, very not good. Like he did not like people taking that because he wanted to write a story that would take you away from the real world for a little bit and then you come back. And these people wanted to take his story and he was like, no, he absolutely believed in the separation of fiction and reality. Yeah. You know, unlike today.
Yep.
Enjoy the fairy stories, but grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. That's why I like him so much.
Yep. And where I came up with the idea that they're like, hey, like I can have God in this universe was the line from Aslan that he told what was the youngest girl? Was it? No, it wasn't Susan.
Oh, I don't remember who the youngest girl in Chronicles of Narnia was. Who was it?
I think it was Lucy, wasn't it?
Lucy, yes.
Yes.
Where he says to Lucy, like, I do exist in your world, but I go by a different name. You must learn to know me there. And that's what I was like, that's it. That's how I'm going to do it.
Yes, Tim Allen, I will cuss regardless of my faith.
Man, I think everybody does.
No, he called it out.
Yeah. Everybody's like, hey, Royce, it's Sunday. Don't cuss on a Sunday. I'm like, keep in mind, the only reason I don't
Friday.
I try not to cuss on my streams in case my mother pops into the stream. She doesn't anymore. She learned not to, so now
she gave up.
Yeah.
She smells you a bar of soap every now and again. Like, put this, you chew on this for 10 minutes.
No, I was that kid. I was that kid. Because I would start like mildly cussing in front of my mom when I was like 15, 16. Not the big words, like hell and damn.
Sure.
And she goes, your brothers and sisters won't cuss in front of me. I said, yeah, that's because my brothers and sisters are okay with lying about who they are in front of you. And my mom just looked at me like, without missing a beat, and she was like, you could tell she did not know how to feel about that. I was like,
yeah.
That was me. That was me as a kid. I'm just like, yeah, if we want to go into the right and wrong here, Mom, let's joust. And she would get mad at me. I don't know why you think like this. I'm like, you're the one that taught me how to think.
I'll tell you what.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of our actions.
The bar soap, Irish Spring, it's actually semi-pleasant. It's not that bad. But Dial liquid soap, Dial is vile. And that's when, once I had that, I was like, okay, don't swear around Mom, because that stuff was nasty.
So go ahead. I actually like it.
Funny enough, my little brother, he choked on the Dial and was coughing up bubbles, and she felt bad. So then she switched to hot sauce. And he acted like he hated it, but then she caught him like eating a ton of it, and so for a while he had just been pretending. So,
attaboy.
Like, well played, well played.
Back to the soap.
Did he ever like pretend to have a seizure? With the bubbles in his mouth?
No, it was genuine. He swallowed wrong, was like coughing, and there's bubbles coming out, and to me it was hilarious. But my mom was like terrified. Like, wait, did I go too far? Is just like hurting him, and so. But yeah, it was funny.
Yes, you went too far, Mom.
No, it was great. Good job, Ma.
Good.
Got
job,
him.
Mom. Oh man, dude, it's really interesting too to see quite a few people are actually, touching base with the Christian roots, and obviously the Hedge is doing it. Herman B. Hunter, the Lore Forge, with his book series, he's connecting with it. I know there are a few other people I've talked to who are like, yeah, we're like, this isn't like a Christian book, but the values are what guide the story.
Yeah.
And yours is definitely like a Christian comic. Like it is like on its face from the start. Like that is, you're like, no, I'm going to tell this story. I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm. God is an actual character in this series.
I know that, yeah, like in the very beginning of it too, and telling the superhero narrative as well. How did you come to that conclusion? How are you telling that whole story? Like,
like I've always loved like superheroes. Ever since I saw the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Actually no. Like my very first exposure to superheroes was 1989 Batman, and then that's when we started getting like Batman the Animated Series and then Superman the Animated Series. And that's just when I fell in love with the whole superhero genre. And I wanted to have a superhero story. But it's in its completely different world. So it's kind of like a superhero fantasy. It's not fantasy in a way, like Lord of the Rings, where there's like goblins and goblins and elves. It's like I can just do whatever I want in this world. Like I can make up all these countries and nations, and like have all these different characters like interact.
I think it's so funny too. You say that your first interaction with like superheroes was Batman '89, and obviously I was born in the '90s, and so at that point in time, everything had been so fired up for like after school cartoons. And like we were already, again, like you said, the Batman the Animated Series, but like for me, I think one of my first was definitely those early 90s cartoons. X-Men, the Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man was a good one. I think a lot of people, I think the Hulk animated series and the Iron Man animated series,
I remember those.
Love. They were really good, but definitely Spider-Man and the X-Men animated series were just top tier. Superman the animated series started and the Tim. I can't ever. He's got
Tim.
He's got two first names, and I hate it because it bothers me because they're both first names. But the Bruce verse or whatever they called it, the Tim verse, with Batman and Superman, and then later on with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and then Batman Beyond, and then they started incorporating things like Static Shock. It's just like all of this stuff was just, piling on like when I was a kid, and so many fantastic superheroes and superhero stories, especially on television. And thank God it was all on television, because when I was a kid, reading was a chore for me, and I hated it. I could do it, I just hated it. And I kept telling people, oh, nice. He went and got it. But, and I couldn't stand it. And
Hardback.
To the point where like I'd have friends of mine tell me all the time, they're like, no, dude, you've got to read the comics. I'm like, no. I was like, no, it's fine, dude. I was like, they'll put it in a cartoon or a TV show one of these days. And they're like, well, no, probably not this comic. I was like, well, then it must not be that good. That was I was that guy. I'm like, to everything. People are like, yeah, dude, you've got to read this book. I'm like, no, I'll
shut up.
Shut
up. Don't make a Dark Knight Returns animated movie someday. And they do.
That one. It was. I was very disappointed. Oh, come on! I have the fucking book in here. Why Why is my brain just not functioning right now? The Killing Joke. God. That was a terrible movie. I hated that movie.
The first
so
half,
much.
the first half, like the first half is terrible. But when it gets to the actual Killing Joke, that's where it's actually good.
Yeah, but the problem was the first half was, I was literally so out of it by the time they got to the second half. I'm like, why did they? None of that has anything to do.
Why are they Why are they trying to make Batman and Batgirl a thing? Why?
That comic was rough, man.
They made that a thing, and believe it or not, they made that a thing in the Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah,
like that goes way back.
There's a comic.
Or I guess it was Justice League.
Well, no. There's a Batman the Animated Series comic, and it goes bonkers with this, where Barbara actually gets pregnant with Bruce's child, and I think there was a robbery at a city bus, and Barbara tries to stop a robbery, and I think she got shot. She survived, but the baby didn't.
See, that Matt Down with superhero stories like that. We need to get back to the feel-good superhero stories. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say, when I was a kid, I was reading. I mean, I read some intense stuff like Pit, a little bit of Spawn, Savage Dragon, some of the more gritty kind of things. But I also I had a handful of the Spider-Mans and a Superman or two, a Batman, and those were more of the light stuff. And then I took a break from comics for
Spider-Man is not light.
The ones I had were the older kind. The reprints or whatever. And they were, the stories were never really that heavy in the issues I was reading. And even the one with the Spider Pig or the Hamlet or something, they were kind of silly. So it might have just been the ones I happened to pick up.
Spider Pig.
I can't remember what it was called. Spider Ham, maybe?
Spider Ham, yeah.
I took a break for 15, 20 years because I got into video games and music, and I kind of stopped reading comics and fiction altogether, really. And whenever I came back, and I was like, I haven't read a comic in a while. What should I pick up? And people online are like, oh, you got to pick up The Killing Joke. I was like, okay, Batman. Yeah, I had one, and it was kind of lighter and stuff. And then I read, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not. I was expecting to come back into the superhero scene because that's not a light, fluffy kind of story in that one.
Well, they got their jollies off of Death in the Family, and then it just spiraled from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a whole thing. That was
they got
the fans voted on that.
Yeah,
the fans did the call. The fans wanted Tim Drake to
not Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. Sorry, Tim Drake was the one who was after him. Sorry, Jason Todd. Why am I? Because he's the one who was.
Jason Todd's the Red Hood.
Yeah, he's the Red Hood. Why did I say Tim Drake? I don't know. I don't. There's too many fucking.
It's a more fun name.
It is. There's too many names. No, but Jason Todd, that was they did the call in. They had the hotline, call in and cast your vote for whether you not they put it out there, and the fans were like, we want him dead. We don't like him. He's not Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is the only Robin.
Jason Todd. Jason Todd. We don't like Jason Todd because he's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And then DC was like, watch, we're going to make everybody Robin going forward.
Mm-hmm. I will say this. There are some moments
that Dick Grayson.
I don't.
Nightwing.
There are some moments that I don't mind Damian Wayne as Robin. And the reason being is because it kind of takes the Robin thing and kind of flips it on its head in a really cool way, is where Bruce Wayne was taking these young men and kind of turning them into soldiers and kind of turning them into these warriors. And Damian Wayne was already a warrior, and Bruce it was oh shit, this is really bad. This is and he had to try to get the kid to be a kid. And I kind of liked that. I'm like, oh, that because that's a new thing for, he's like, hey, that we don't have to be like that. Calm down a little bit. Just chill. And it was, I kind of like that aspect of the Damian Wayne thing, because in some back when they were still writing, and I know a lot of people hate Damian Wayne as Robin.
I don't.
I have heard a lot of people just don't like him as Robin. They didn't think he was a good Robin, but I like the fact that that the writers out there were competent enough to go, okay, let's put Batman in a situation where you wouldn't see Batman, where he's like, okay, I have to take a warrior and let him know that he's still a fucking child.
Yeah.
So that's what was really cool about that for me. But it's and then
a
the
little.
writing.
There's a little bit more nuance to that too.
Oh, do tell, Grandmaster Writer.
Sure.
Guru, sir.
Yeah, Damien is a representation of everything Bruce wanted to be when he was angry and looking for revenge.
Okay, hold the fuck on. Okay, wait. Where the hell are you pulling that rabbit from?
Well, look at it. Damien represents power and skill at a young age. Bruce wanted to be powerful and skillful. That's why he trained himself over all of those years to become the Batman. He wanted revenge for the death of his parents.
Uh-huh.
Damien, at the same stage of life that Bruce was in when he lost his parents and started this whole journey, is already just as good as the Bat.
How do you even make that juxtaposition, though? Like,
It's interesting, isn't it? He's looking at basically everything he wanted to be when he was that age.
I don't think I don't think he wanted to be that at that age.
He did. That was the whole point. If you look at Batman's backstory, everything that he did, all the training and all the learning that he did over those first 2 decades of becoming the Bat were to be at a level where he could feel confident enough to take revenge. And Damien walked right into his life with that level of confidence. He was a child fully capable of doing all the things that young Bruce Wayne didn't think he was capable of doing.
Okay, and so that kind of feeds back into kind of what I was saying is that, you know, if Batman had to take a warrior and be like, dude, you're still a kid. Like, be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't, because on the other side of that, Bruce Wayne also realizes how much of his life he missed out on because he wanted to be the Batman, or he wanted to be something. He, at the time, he didn't maybe not know he wanted to be Batman, but he was so consumed by this thing, and now he's kind of looking at Damian Wayne like, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should have fun on the weekends and not be. And this kid's just like, no.
What is this fun that you speak of?
Right.
And let's not forget how Damien got there in the first place. Talia doing a little bit of date rape in there.
Yep.
Let's hold on. Okay.
It's true.
Let's not say that Bruce Wayne didn't get around. Like, I mean, if we're gonna be real here, like, there should be like I'm surprised. I've never seen a video pop up, but it's just like, all right, time to talk about the top 10 women that Batman / Bruce Wayne has boinked. Because it's not like the guy was a saint. Like, let's be honest here. He's been around the block. It was just like, it just so happened to be the one time when he dropped his guard and she was like, oh, hey, I'm going to give you this so you can't pull the bat rubber out of the utility belt or whatever.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Batman, didn't get himself snipped.
So what, he's a fucking eunuch now?
No, he's just...
Look, it's eunuch man.
He's Mr. Preparedness, prepared for every single situation. He did not factor potentially getting his
chastity belt.
His swimmers harvested.
Well, to Royce's point, at that point, I mean, that's a soft spot. If they're not serving any function, maybe you should take the extra step. That'd be a twist.
I can't believe Batman didn't get snipped. It's like, yeah. Like, because Bruce Wayne was like, yeah, no, I'm Batman. I'm the terror of the night. All of the women want to jump my bones.
And every single one of his relationships, he predicates the inability of being with them to being Batman. So it makes sense that he would get a vasectomy.
I don't know why we're thinking about this. Well, obviously, because actually,
Where are we going with this?
I don't know. We were. It's just like because no, that's a thing. That's a. I don't like how comics have just turned into this semi-realistic.
Welcome to
bullshit.
my writer's brain, by the
Oh
way.
my
This is the
God.
shit that I think about all day
Stop
long.
thinking about it. I don't like. I legitimately don't want to think about Batman's junk, and you're just like, but it's in the story. I'm like, I don't want to think about it. No.
A bat vasectomy.
Yes.
It's a batsectomy. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a bat. It's a batsectomy. Get it right. Bat balls.
No, bat ball.
That's fucking great, dude. I love it.
Oh, goodness.
I. Wow, what a world we live in. Okay, so going back to it.
Once again,
King of Justice.
you're welcome.
This is a terrible segue. Going back to the Christian book that we were talking about. King of Justice. So give us the lowdown, man. What exactly is King of Justice? Tell us about it, man.
Oh, it gets a story about like a young homeless man named
Sorry,
Yes.
I saw the chat. I should not look at the
Oh,
chat.
jeez.
Jesus.
Should always look at the chat.
Crimson, no.
These are my people.
Bad.
Crimson, yes.
No. Stop it. That is horrible people.
We're so close to getting back on the rails.
I was
What rails? There are no rails here.
I mean, apparently
Let's have
some
a
of-
15-minute segue about
apparently
Harley
a
Quinn
lot of women
deciding
in
to
Batman got on the rails. We're just throwing
rape
it out there. They definitely
Nightwing.
tell y'all Ghoul got on the rails, Catwoman got on the rails. Apparently Barbara Gordon got on the rails. That's a weird one. Who else got on the rails? Fuck.
Harley decided to get on Nightwing because she couldn't get on the Bat.
that Court of Owls
Dude,
lady.
they absolutely wrote him as a whore when he became Nightwing. Like that was, they were just like, yeah, he's just gonna get at everything that gets thrown at him, and he did.
It's true.
Dick Grayson,
Although
did.
he did have a nice long stretch of being in a relationship with Starfire that was actually slightly wholesome,
yeah.
but then it fell apart because he's Grayson and his first name is Dick.
Oh, good. Oh, that's a thing. Yeah.
Anyways, there's a
Yeah.
homeless man.
There's a homeless man. That's right.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, there's a homeless man
man.
in King of Justice.
Meanwhile, back in the land of like morality.
Had to go with the Super Friends narrator for a minute there.
Yeah, I picked
Meanwhile,
up
in the
on it.
Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, in King of Justice,
There you go. Meanwhile, in the King of Justice, a homeless man decides to meet God, or God decides to meet him. Tune in to see how this plays out.
tell us all about it, Andrew.
Yeah, like it's about a young homeless man who is chosen by the deity Elohim to become like the embodiment and enforcement of his justice. And the whole issue is just basically an origin story. And in the second issue, we are introduced to the main antagonist. And yeah, like that's basically all it's about. Like just this guy who has no aspirations, no purpose, and he is suddenly given a chance to have a purpose in life. Basically by God. To become something much bigger than he previously was.
I like it.
That and I'm gonna be really honest with you, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, Andrew. You're underselling it. So if I may, can I because I really like your story. I saw what you did with the YouTube audio visual comic.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is it's not just a homeless man who gets the chance. It's a righteous man
Yeah.
who doesn't necessarily have the power or the strength to stop the evil in the world around him, but yet still acts upon the goodness that he knows and tries to stop that evil, even though he doesn't have that.
Which is biblical.
It is because of that Elohim calls upon him. And it is a shocking, and I really love how I got a lot of like the burning bush vibes from that scene. That is very heavy in it. And he is like, look, you're going to, he's like, basically, because you are righteous in heart and spirit, I am going to give you this power to act upon that. It is fucking incredible. It is that great story.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, it, as you go on, like, dialogue could be dialogue, everybody
It's
has
simple.
trouble. It's simple. Dialogue is simple, but that story there is one of those like, oh wow, look, like, when I was going through it, and I'll see if I might actually talk with my wife and see if we can't pick up a copy. But when I was watching what you had put on YouTube and going through it, it was one of those things where I was like, wow, like I could put this in my kids' hands and I could show them, like, look, God calls us all in mysterious ways, right? Like that's a thing. And I think you've got a video here that you're
So to give context for everyone in the chat, like you've seen the video where it pretty much shows the entire comic. I've then realized that it's probably not a good idea to have that video out for display if I'm also selling the prints. So I decided to like just make I just make 2 clips, as sort of like a promotion for a promotion for the book. So that way, like, it gives incentive, to actually buy the books.
I think this would be a really, really good book especially for young adults that are looking for something fun to read. And especially, I think I would actually like to get it for my kids because I think this would be a really good album. Actually, this would be one of those that I think like we could probably like, if it sticks with the Christian message, we could probably hand out at the local church here and say, hey guys, like, kids need something to read too. Let's get some good Christian books in their hands.
Yep.
And all the children in the town will be calling each other stupid normies.
We used to call each other Jews, but apparently you're not allowed to do
Jeez.
that. I went to a Catholic school. Trust me, that was a cuss word back in the day.
Well, I do like with the normie line in your comic that even though it's a fantasy world, I like whenever there's those fun cultural, like in our world, touch points that can connect you to the story. I read that, I was like, that's funny.
I decided to keep that because like just say normie and you automatically know what it means. Like it's just a normal person.
I just calling the homeless guy sitting in the trash like, you normie. Oh no, it made me laugh.
That's great.
Yeah, like that scene is not one of the clips. Like I picked like 2 scenes from it. And the scenes are like when Jaden becomes Melchizedek and then the battle and then his battle with the Hitman.
Which are really, really freaking good. Whenever you are ready to play it, go for it.
All right. Hope you guys can hear it.
Yep,
I
can
knew
hear
it.
it.
I'm going crazy. Who are you?
I am Elohim, the creator of all worlds.
What do you want with me?
To put it simply, I have chosen you to be the embodiment of my justice.
What does that mean?
All shall be revealed. But right now, I need you to get into the lake.
Get into the lake? How does that work?
No one gets to choose their origin. You just have to trust me.
And if I refuse?
The choice is yours. But it certainly beats being homeless, sleeping around garbage. But take this path. You shall be reborn as Melchizedek, which means King of Justice.
Well, if you put it that way.
I love how even God's just like,
So cold. Why does it have to be so cold? So, is it supposed to work now?
Bathe in the water.
Bathe? Like my whole body?
Quit complaining, just do it.
I feel like this is Old Testament God.
You smell, take a bath.
Yeah.
Right? Stop being homeless. It's so good though. Like we joke, but this is so good.
Yeah.
Justice #1, now available on xpcomics.com.
Again, it is so refreshing to see stories like that. That is something I actually thought about this. I'm like, that's something that I wonder if we could get like churches involved in. Like, hey, like this is a comic, it's a Christian book. It's, you know, it's got those good values. And I wonder if like there are like churches that wouldn't mind, like, you know, if they could, like, or maybe we can pick up a few books and try to get them out to the different places, because I know, like, believe it or not, a lot of kids now are getting very, very into the faith because the world is kind of in a place right now. And that's one of the things everybody's getting, you know, it's funny when the world gets tough, the world turns to God. And that's a very, very interesting thing.
and I have the second clip, which is also like just 2 minutes long.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just
Go
whenever
for
you're
it.
ready to pull it up.
Yep.
Let's,
Yep.
the
I have it ready.
This is when he comes back from that world. This is so good.
You know why I'm here?
Not really. Should I?
My client hired me to take you out.
And who's that?
Confidential.
I can assure you I'm no
What a
threat.
weird name.
I haven't even done anything to be a threat to anyone.
Doesn't matter to me as long as I get paid.
It's like, I love that. The nano armor.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so friggin'.
A power suit? Where did he get that?
Confidential.
Also confidential.
Stay out of my way.
Oh,
Ava!
yeah.
It's not good for a man to hit a woman.
I
Duh.
wouldn't
Like
have
stuff
to
like that, I
if
love
she
it.
didn't get in the way.
Is that all you got? Oh, man. It barely hurts. Neat. Finally, got you to hold still.
Comment.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom Justice #1, now available on xpcomics.com.
I love all of the nods that you just throw in on that. It's just so freaking great.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yep.
Yes.
The voice of the voice of Jaden and Melchizedek is actually Vic Mignogna. That's not AI. That's the actual voice actor. I did the voice of the Hitman. Because I just couldn't find it. I just couldn't think of anyone else to do it.
How did you get Vic Mignogna to do the voice for that little?
So I know this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy.
It's the way to do it.
Is that legitimately how it worked out?
Yeah, like I actually like
That's
knew
legitimately how it always works out.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I know nobody. I know you bastards, and I don't
Royce
know who
doesn't
you
know the
guys
guy.
know. So I don't know anybody.
Yeah, so like so I literally know this guy who personally knows Vic Mignogna, you know, and he told me, you know, about my project, and he said that he was interested. So I sent him an email. And this was like during the summer where he was extremely busy, you know, because he does a lot of like he does a lot of convention visits, you know, so he was very busy. So when the summer was over, you know, that's when he got in contact with me, to do the voice work, and all I had to do was just send him a PDF of the comic and have all his lines highlighted, and he was able to like just get the lines down perfectly.
That's awesome.
So for everybody who is like, oh, who are they talking about? What are we
Vic
talking
Mignogna.
about? So Vic Mignogna is an actor and has
Prolific voice actor.
a prolific voice actor as well. Will go for known for here
Full
are his
Metal
previous.
Alchemist.
He's been in Mr. Gates. I mean, just you can go through here. Naruto and Boruto, Ultimate Ninja Story,
Yeah.
The Fire Syndrome. So many more. I know him as the voice of Broly. He was in Ruby, for you anime fans out there, Star Trek Phase 2, Silent Hill, Release of Dreams. Like this guy,
Ruby.
Vic Mignogna has been in a ton of stuff.
Yep. He was also the voice of Edward, you know, in Full Metal Alchemist, that anime you just reviewed.
Yep. No,
He's a really nice guy too.
Oh yeah,
I've heard
he's super nice.
I've heard he's a sweetheart. But yeah, I mean Vic
And a
Mignogna.
huge
So the
nerd.
fact that you got that guy and he just helped you out with that's fucking super cool,
And-
dude.
Yeah.
What also helped is that Vic Mignogna is also a diehard Christian.
Correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does. Some of his videos are affirmations.
Yeah, like he's been doing like these little
What?
what was it? He calls them Victories, which are kind of like like little Bible sessions on his YouTube channel.
What are the odds that we can get Vic Mignogna on this show?
Like
Probably not very good. Be like, hey, here's
Well, like-
the deal.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
You know what? I'm gonna reach out to my contact.
like he has like a website, where you can get his email address, and send it. Like the summer is ending, so you can probably catch him, like around this time, since he's not doing any more conventions, for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the worst you could say is no or just not write back. And
Exactly.
none
Yeah.
to lose, Don't know till you ask. Yeah, the trailer. I love in the first trailer you showed whenever Elohim and says he's the creator of worlds and he's showing all these different worlds and the one's a cube. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
that planet?
Like
That looks cool.
like
The planet of the point.
do you guys know Frog Tony?
No,
No?
people say it on Twitter all the time, but I
Passively
don't.
aware of.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
deal.
that.
That's got something to do with the hate against the Rippaverse, right? Like people.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
Okay, I don't.
But
know.
the point is like he saw the video and he was the very first person to notice that one of the planets that surrounds
It's a cube.
that one of the planets was actually the flat Earth.
Oh.
I saw that.
Now,
I
did
didn't
you
even
make
look
the
at
trailers yourself too? I know you do all
Yeah.
the art and the story. You do? Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Just out of my own curiosity, what program do you use to do the trailers?
Like I use Adobe After Effects.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, for all like the panel movements.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and since I do like all of my comic art on Clip Studio Paint,
Mhm.
like it's easier to like have the panels and the thought balloons, in a separate layer, so that the panel can move and then the thought bubble can come up, when that character starts to talk.
Right. Yeah, no, I love the trailer. They're really cool. I know
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a ton of work on your end, but I think the end
Yeah.
result's really worth it. It's very cool.
Oh yeah. Like I thought it was a really cool, like idea, to promote the comic, especially when you get like a famous voice actor.
He was in Code Geass. Who was he in Code
Vic?
Geass?
Oh, I don't remember which character he was.
That show is like Code Geass is. Code Geass is Code Geass. There's no other way I could say it.
That is how you pronounce it. Like,
yeah, it's that show.
Let's
Before,
see,
gentlemen.
Vic.
Because my lovely wife is out right now. She was getting a birthday tattoo. I'm gonna go check on the kids real quick.
Oh,
I'm also gonna
Luciano.
go to the bathroom.
Oh, Luciano. I do not know this character. Like, he's probably like a very small character. Because I don't remember him. Yeah. Like I know he was in Naruto. He was also in Ruby until his whole situation came up. Where he was like being accused of
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, of like misconduct. And then Rooster Teeth fired him, which I thought was like completely unfair. And then Funimation fired him. And this was like right after the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie came out. Which I know that I know that he's posted that like a Dragon Ball superhero. No, Super Broly is like his most favorite Dragon Ball movie, and like it's also mine too, because like this was a movie that finally made Broly canon, and that just made me so happy. And I just love the fact that like the story that Toriyama did for Super Broly is so much better than the original.
Oh, I have to see this then. I've only seen the original, so I got to check this one out.
You need to watch Super Broly. Like it is so good.
That's what I hear from everybody. I watched Dragon Ball Z. It was on Toonami after school and all that, and I watched through the Buu saga, and I loved it. But I never got into like what was it, GT, and I never even caught the original Dragon Ball. But I love that show, man.
And,
I used to, every day after school run home to catch it.
And I saw Super Broly like in the theater with a whole bunch of other anime fans. It was like one of the best movie theater going experience I ever had. Because like the minute Broly started attacking Vegeta first, everyone was like, yes, he went for Vegeta first, not Goku. And they do not do that stupid crap. We're just mentioning Kakarot. It just wakes him out. Like they don't they do not do that crap.
So Dragon Ball, obviously, it had to have been a major influence on your story too, right?
Oh
Just from
yeah,
the fighting. Okay,
and art, yeah.
yeah, the style and everything else. Speaking of the art, the world that you have in your story is pretty cool looking. It's almost like Aztec kind of pyramids, but also futuristic.
Yeah, like it's futuristic. Like I decided to go with like a pyramid. I decided to go with like pyramid buildings because I thought it would be like the most fun way, to make buildings. But I also had to make it look otherworldly. Because if I do just standard skyscrapers, then the readers are going to think, oh, this takes place in our world.
Okay. So you want something familiar again, like the insult he threw out. Something familiar, but also different enough. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool looking. I think it has an interesting look. I'm trying to think if I've seen anything else quite like it. And actually, Dragon Ball kind of comes to mind. I know their cities are like those round buildings, but...
Oh, yeah. I love that idea, where the buildings are just round. Though I think with Toriyama, like I don't think a lot of readers had caught on. But the reason why he made a lot of buildings round was because he wanted to make, because he wanted them to be boob jokes.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like they're faster and easier to draw for some reason. No,
It's probably that too.
I like too. So there's that with the language, with the world itself, and then even the outfits they wear, like the bad guys and the homeless dude at the beginning. They guys just rocking like a hoodie, and the old dude just looks like a button up or something. But then on the cover, you have their like superhero outfit, and it's that looks a little bit more otherworldly.
Yeah. Like the suit was based on based on the Christian flag.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I like designed the cross symbol after the Star of Bethlehem.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, because I thought it was a cool design. Plus like if you just look at it, it just looks like a star. But it's actually a very pointy cross.
So we got issue number 1 on your website, and you said issue number 2, you're currently in the works with that one?
Yes, I am actually almost done with it. I am probably like a few pages away, and then once I'm done with that, like I'll have to like relook through all the pages, like just to make sure like everything is like the way I want it. And I'll probably start working on like some video clips. I am trying to get Lucy Christian to voice Eva. For those who don't know who Lucy Christian is, she's the dub voice of Nami from One Piece. And she also voices Uchako from My Hero Academia.
Yep.
So is this through the same friend that knows Vic, has these connections?
No, I actually met Lucy Christian at Fan Expo Dallas, and asked her, if she would like to be part of it. So I shot her an email. I don't know if she's seen it yet, but I hope she sees it soon.
Gotcha.
Probably gets back to me, and I'm trying to get Crispin Freeman to voice like the main antagonist.
Very cool.
Yeah,
so you got issue number 1 out. Yeah, you got issue number 2 in the works. How long is this, like a big series? Do you have like 4 books planned out, or what's the story?
I have the entire series planned out, and I have like a sequel series planned out. I just don't know exactly like how many issues or volumes it's going to take.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to keep going with it. Until I feel ready to end the series. Though I promise it's not going to be like One Piece long.
So it doesn't start getting good after episode 100.
Oh my gosh. I had somebody tell me, like, dude, you guys start watching. He's like, the first 500 episodes are just kind of all right, but then it really picks up. I'm like, how much time do you think I have, dude? Like,
Netflix is working with Wit Studios to kind of do like, you know what DBZ Kai is?
Yes.
Yeah. So Netflix and Wit Studios are working on the One Piece, where it's like it's One Piece, but they cut out all, they cut out all the filler and they fix the pacing issues.
Who was I listening to that described this? Crap. Well, one of the many channels that I listen to on YouTube, what they were talking about is that traditionally for like anime, it's usually 2 issues per 1 episode. And that's generally the pacing that shows like to keep, is 2 issues per 1 episode.
Yeah.
One Piece came out at a time when that was not the case. They were doing half an issue to an issue per episode. So they there is a lot of it that's stretched out. It should be like, so at 1,000 issues, it shouldn't be over 1,000 episodes. It should be like 500 episodes, which is still a lot, but a lot easier and it's for pacing issues, and so that's what they're really trying to do is because One Piece has so many flashbacks too. Yeah, the reason that they do flashbacks is because thank you
filler.
Filler. I hate
and the one thing that really annoys me about One Piece is the soundtrack. I do not like the soundtrack because they keep using the exact same soundtrack. Dumb. It's like okay, I already heard it like 5 minutes ago. Stop it.
That I will say this. That is, and I have to go back.
That's
and
radio
watch it,
jingle.
but and I love this show, but Digimon, the first Digimon series and the second Digimon series are my favorite. My daughter actually really likes the fourth Digimon series, which isn't bad.
I actually like that as well.
Yeah, dude.
That's the one. That's the one where the kids turn into the Digimon, right? Yeah. I actually like that one.
Yeah, I watched all four series, and I'm gonna be honest with you. They all have their own different twists and how it all works, and I actually don't have an issue with the Digimon series as a whole. But when especially when you're a fan of like the original series and then the second series, like I am, every time you hear the song "Run Around," when it's just like you run around, I run around, we're all gonna run, dude. And not only that, if you actually guys want to look into that, they screwed that artist over because they did an entire like album's worth of music for Digimon, and they fucked those guys over. Those guys almost didn't get paid for all the times they're it's bad. But like, and funny enough, I'd have to go find it. I have an old CD case here. And I have an entire CD. This is back in the LimeWire days, people. I have an entire CD of the Digimon like soundtrack, like all of the songs that were played because there were just because they were doing a lot. There was like a lot of pop punk, a lot of like alt rock stuff going on, and those guys just absolutely killed it every single time. But when you're watching Digimon, and you hear that bow now, and you're like, oh, the guys are about to win. And they recycled the same 4 fucking songs for 3 years worth of television show. And it's just like, okay, like it's one of those. It's the How I Met Your Mother meme when they're listening to the song and I would walk 500 miles. It's like and it's like there's like it's the only song that'll play on the radio, and then it comes back around, like it sucks, and then like you get excited again to hear it, like it goes through that whole wave, and Digimon did that, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I wish I still had my Digimon action figures from when I was a kid. They'd be up on the wall, but those are probably in a dump somewhere, melted down at this point. But yeah, it just Digimon did that. That's one of the things is like a lot of. The Digimon album was great. Thank you guys for chatting in the Rumble. By the way, we've got a couple people over on Rumble.
Hey.
I love seeing you guys over there. That helps, especially as much as I'm like, hey. But no, the Digimon soundtrack was really fun and. I will say this, soundtracks for television, especially like anime lately, is getting a lot better. They are really just no holds bar, like pulling all the stops. Some of the soundtracks are
they actually keep like the original Japanese soundtrack. Though I think it's much cheaper to like just keep the original Japanese soundtrack, rather than like just go make their own. And like just put in the voices, I think that's like way cheaper.
I will say this, and I think it's just music in and of itself is just really hit a stride. And Jujutsu Kaisen, which is wrapping up in the manga right now, which is
Yeah.
I'll just say that. But Jujutsu Kaisen has had a couple of outro bangers and a couple of intro bangers for their music. And then my favorite, Justin, I need you to look up a song because I think that this would get your musician senses tingling.
Okay.
Okay. I need you to look up Broken Games by FZMZ. It is the intro to Shangri-La Frontier. That song is fucking wild.
Will do.
The one
so good, and it's Japanese. You won't understand the lyric. They actually mix it with a lot of English though too.
Yeah, sometimes
So
they
kinda,
do that.
Like it, dude.
I
That
listen to
song,
a ton of Japanese rock, so that's
dude. Dude, no, this shit goes so fucking hard. I wish I could play it here, but last time we played it on stream, I got copyright strike. I had to cut it all
the
out.
one anime series that I think has like the best like musical soundtrack is Fairy Tail because it's literally Celtic music and it's
cool.
kick ass.
I will say this. The best original music. And I was not even a big fan of this show because I just couldn't get into it. I might try again. But the best original soundtrack for an anime has got to be Cowboy Bebop.
That's what
I
Trippy said too.
I don't even like the show. I tried watching it and I was like, the show's not for me. But fuck, dude. The music in that show is so fucking good. And like it was the producers of the show were in a band and they're like, no, we'll just do the music for the show. Like we're gonna make the show and then we're also gonna make the music for the show. Like us. Like we're not gonna hire other people to do it. We're gonna do it. And they fucking killed it, dude. Oh, it's so good. So good. And I think that I really love how the musical scores have just gotten better in anime over the years. Is because especially when we were kids, it was it's the same 4 recycled songs over and over and over again.
Yeah. The only one where the American soundtrack was better than the Japanese was Yu-Gi-Oh. Because if you if you watched the original Japanese episodes, there is no soundtrack whatsoever until Yugi swaps with Yamu
also,
Yugi.
The American Yu-Gi-Oh is not the original.
It's not.
It's like you don't even get the story. Like it is so the American version. So I wish, like I said, and a lot of people don't understand this. I can't listen to the subbed anime. I don't like.
Yeah.
I do not like Japanese anime voice acting specifically.
But here's the thing. It's original Yu-Gi-Oh! It barely has a soundtrack. Like for most of the episode, it's dead air. Literally dead air. Yes, I know. Like I'm also like a Yu-Gi-Oh guy as well.
I mean, is this my deck or is this no? That's my buddy's deck. When my buddy comes to visit me, here's his deck right here, and then mine is right here. So like this is so like when we get drunk enough, we're just like, all right, you know what, motherfucker, let's settle our little debate right now.
Which I got mine. Elemental Hero.
Shit! You run an Elemental Hero deck?
Yeah,
those are rough. I run a synchro deck. I run a synchro deck.
Synchros, boo!
No, fuck off, dude. My red Nova Dragon will fuck you up, dude. I've only ever had one game where I was able to pull 2 Nova Dragons.
Like I even pulled this recently.
Oh shit!
Ghost Rare Honest Man.
Synchro Gang! Hey, Synchro Gang over on Rumble! Yeah! I don't know how to... Neon Green. You're using numbers to spell. Neon Green over it says I am also Synchro. I don't mind Synchro. Synchro's pretty fun. I like the limitations of it, and then they just got absolutely stupid with a lot of it afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I've got all that. Like, dude, yeah, we have, yeah, I've played a lot. Like these cards back here have never been played with, and that my wife, she just wanted me to have the full collection, so she bought a tin. Obviously, she couldn't buy a tin today with the original cards in it that was still wrapped because they're like $700.
Oh yeah,
so she just found the Black Skull Dragon Joey tin, so I had the full collection because that was the only one that I could never have. But all the rest of them have the cards in them. All of the rest of them have the cards in them. And my parents are like, hey, my dad calls me like, "Hey, Hot Rod, I found something in our attic." I was like, "What'd you find?" And I was digging through, and I was like,
It's them Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh no, dude, trust me, dude. My dad was even into it with me. He was like, he's like, because my dad's just a collector.
I wish my dad was also into Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, he wasn't into Yu-Gi-Oh, but he understood card collecting because he collected like baseball cards and football cards and stuff like that.
Pokemon.
So he understood the card collecting aspect of it. And he's like, look, if you grab this stuff, he's like, it could be worth a lot of money one day. Maybe it's not worth money in your lifetime, but it might be worth money in your kid's lifetime or your grandkid's lifetime. And so my dad, and that was so cool, dude. It was like my dad, he had all his collector stuff up. He had all his like collectors like die cast like Harley motorcycle stuff with his with the Harley mugs, and then down it was like he had his like the Rockies. He had a whole thing of collector. I actually have he actually sent him here. They are over. They're not in the room. I have the first 6 tickets from the 1990s when the Rockies were formed. They are sealed. I have these sealed first tickets to Rockies games. So I have those. And my dad had his Harley stuff up top in the part of his like entertainment center. And then there was the Rocky stuff. And then down there was, believe it or not, dude, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like some of the rare Pokemon cards and stuff that were in the sleeves and he had those on display in the living room.
Is one of the Pokemon cards like the original Charizard?
I don't know. I never had any of the stuff like that. I don't know if I ever had any like the cool ones. Here, I'll show you. Hold on.
Whenever I was in middle school, a buddy of mine.
This is the only Pokemon card that I still have. And there are 2 of them in here. One is mine and one is my grandfather's because my grandfather took me to see the Pokemon movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that was like with Pokemon 2000. Like they were giving out.
Yep, they gave out 3 million of them, I think, back then. And I have 2 of them in here. One's mine and one's Grandpa's, and they are still. I took them out just once just to see. These are in mint condition. The case itself doesn't do justice, but yep, that's my ancient Mew card. I've got.
I used to have that.
Yeah, I forgot that I had it because I wasn't a big Pokemon kid. I was like, oh, Digimon's better, like because it just is.
This collecting and everything reminds me of a story. Whenever I was in middle school, a friend of mine, he got the internet before the rest of us, and he's a pretty savvy kid, and he realized that the US dollar was worth a lot more than the Japanese yen, and he could go through the internet to these Japanese sites and he could buy the Pokemon cards printed in English.
Yeah.
And at it was much cheaper because the dollar was a lot stronger. So you buy these packs, go through them, pull out the foil cards, see what the local comic shop was selling them for, and then sell them to kids at school at $15 less or what have you. And he was selling them on the bus, and he was doing really well. And the parents were like, "Oh, your friend is really," and these cards are legit. So parents were like sending kids with money to buy cards for him, but you're not allowed to do that. So he got in trouble and wasn't allowed to ride the bus for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But his dad was so proud of him. He's like, "You did this? Like, you used the internet? I'm like, wow, you're a smart little kid. You did great."
He's gonna be a businessman one day.
Yeah, he definitely was.
And who shut it down? The government.
Yeah, they told him.
The school government.
Yep, they confiscated his cards. He did his cards back, but it was...
the gold plate Mewtwo card, from Burger King. Oh yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
BK used to have the best promos. They used to have all kinds of cool stuff.
I bet some
like
of those
Sneak
BK cards were like, if you find them now, I bet they're rare as shit.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Garham says I gave up when it started getting complicated. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh because it was relatively simple. I think Yu-Gi-Oh really hit its stride with synchro summoning.
Yeah.
And after that, they started adding too much to it, and then all of a sudden it was like, it's getting a little wild. Like, the QLI decks and all that. I was like, I can't.
I am very deep I'm very deep into the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and there's a lot to complain about Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
Dude, I had a buddy of mine that was playing. He would go to just local competitions and stuff. He actually paid a decent amount to go to the regionals. And but the problem, pendulum decks, yes.
Oh my god, so that almost killed Yu-Gi-Oh forever.
Pendulum decks are fucking stupid.
I
Yeah.
have no dog in this fight. I played Magic the Gathering like a highbrow nerd.
Like a highbrow nerd. No, here's the problem: is like Yu-Gi-Oh got to a point where you damn near have to be a lawyer, because unless you know what spell speeds, how spell speeds affect other spell speeds, and which ones trigger first, there's spell speeds 1, 2, and 3. Then you obviously have trap speeds as well, which you either have quick activation traps or you have
Trigger effects, ignition effects.
And then you have monster effects. Dude, we had one where, what the fuck was it? Like, we actually had to, because I had Stardust Dragon, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you can just activate his effect. But my buddy, what is my buddy? He did. So my buddy activates. I can't remember what it was. He activated like a black hole or something. So I activated. So I activated my Stardust Dragon to negate the effect of black hole.
Yeah.
And then he activated some other fucking card that I can't remember. So I used like Dust Tornado. And so we literally stopped. We no bullshit had to pull up all the rules and had to figure out whether or not my Stardust Dragon comes back from being banished. This was a 15-minute conversation in the middle of a Yu-Gi-Oh match, because we were like, we don't know what the fuck we just did. No, I Dust Tornadoed because he black. Yeah, it was because that's what it was. So it was some wild chain of cards that we did, because that's the thing is when you start doing chains, it gets wild, and we were like, and this was a 15-minute long conversation. We did figure out, because of the spell speeds and everything, that my Stardust Dragon does come back, and I effectively negated the effect of, I think it was
Black Hole.
I think it was black.
Dark
I can't
Hole.
remember. Dark Hole, something like that. But yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that was the card that he played. I'm just giving you like the gist of, because I don't remember, because we played a lot, dude. We got to a point where we could just slap down cards as fast as we could, and we were just keeping track of it all around. A couple of friends of ours just said, we're like, oh, we like Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's watch you guys play. We did 3 games in 15 minutes. And then we're like, we don't, this is boring. We don't know what's happening.
Like the game has gotten so overly complex that people are playing alternate formats to where they're playing past formats. Like
judges ruling. Fuck judges ruling animation overload. Go fuck yourself. That card is queer as fuck. No.
Royce would know.
No. Oh, dude, all of the judgment cards are just.
Yeah, the solemn.
Except for Solemn Judgment. I think Solemn Judgment's the only one that's
fair
not
card.
gay as fuck. The rest of the Judgment card or Judges ruling, they're all fuck, I hate those cards. And then my buddy used to like to try to throw torrential tribute at me, dude, and I would just shake. I'm like, you mother, because like I can't get my big monster. Like my whole deck design around my deck was whatever. I put stuff out, and my stuff just tells you you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And it is a very effective deck for that, but if it does not pop off, it's bad. It's like if I could get my Stardust Dragon, my my Crimson Blader, my Chevalier de Fleur, and my Jinzo out, I basically negate anything the fuck that you got. I have never had the quartet out on field. I've gotten close, but I've never gotten all of them out on field at the same time. But if I could, you don't get. Okay, this has devolved.
Bryce likes to Jinzo on some bitches.
Shit. No, I'm not going to make that joke. Hey, Andrew Rowland, why don't you tell us what you do, what you got going on, where you're from, man? Fuck.
I'm from Indiana.
Where can we find you, dude?
You can just find me on xpcomics.com. We have we have clickable links to to the XP Comics social media, for YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and I guess what I'm showing right now is like a little preview of issue 2. Still working on the cover. Oh my god, I just need to get it colored.
Dude, I'm freaking excited, and I legitimately love the story that you're telling, and I loved the introduction and the hero and the origin story because, again, I love the man who wants to stand up for what's right but doesn't have the power, and God's like, look, even though you didn't have the capability to do this, you still wanted to do this, and so I'm choosing you to have my backing to get this done. And that is what's so awesome about King of Justice, is that it is a righteous man fighting the righteous fight. You know, good guys actually being good.
Yeah.
You know, who'd have thunk? What a crazy concept.
idea.
Yeah.
Wait, good guys actually being good and not
I don't follow you.
He had a dark backstory, and you know, he had a dark backstory, and the only reason that he's good is because he doesn't really know how to be good. But you know, this guy's just like, oh, I just want to be a good person, and God's like, oh, wow, you want to be a good person? That's awesome.
And then it's
getting that cold water.
Not an anti-hero. Oh my god, I love that fucking neon green. Yeah, not an anti-hero. Just a straight up, just regular, just a good guy, and God chooses him. Seriously, guys, go check this out. Just again, it's $5 for the PDF version if you guys don't want the physical. I will want to get the physical. I want to see if I can maybe raise some money to get the physicals and maybe drop it off at the church and just say, hey, this is a really, really cool story. Because I think that's where this book fits in, is for the church kids at Sunday school that want to do like a library exchange where they can like take the book home for a few days and bring it back. I think that would be really, I think that is where this book would shine.
Okay, like just looking at this page, like do you get any references in this?
It's very small on my screen, dude. You have to understand how small I have everything. I gotta blow up the web page.
I don't know what it's called. It's the chamber where Vegeta went in to like heal
up.
Oh
yeah, no. That's when Goku was on planet Namek and he was asleep.
Nope.
If it's not a DBZ reference, I disown you.
Yes, if it looks like it. It looks
because
like
that's the only thing Royce knows.
It's a reference to Pokemon the first movie. When Mewtwo first breaks out. Yeah.
Okay, no, dude, everybody's gonna see that and they're gonna think Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, but what can you do?
It should be a Dragon Ball Z reference.
Dude, Time's up.
Freaking awesome. God, that's awesome. God, that artwork looks so freaking good. All right, Mr. Evely Music. What do you do? Where can we find you, good sir?
So, as the name implies, I do make music. You can just type in Evely wherever you listen to music, and there's a handful of albums in there. There's chiptune rock, and there's some metal, so if that sounds cool, check that out. And then, of course, on Tuesday nights, I'm on the Iron Seas as well, which is a show that I co-host along with AC Pritchard, Bat Sauce, or Butt Sauce, as some call him, and the ultimate
him
kahuna.
Retarded.
Call him
retarded.
Sauce.
So we watch movies every week, and then we talk about them, about storytelling and writing in general, and just have a fun time over there. We often have a guest on. We had Chilkit on this previous week, and it was just a good time. So
a movie like you guys need to watch is Dragon Ball Super Broly.
That would be awesome.
That is, dude.
It is amazing.
I never thought. I just commented on that on Twitter this week. I'm like, unironically, Dragon Ball Super Broly is the best animation that a Dragon Ball property has ever had, bar none. There's no there have been great Dragon Ball like movies, but the animation and even after compares. That, like nothing compares to Dragon Ball Super Broly. And my favorite Dragon Ball movie up to that point, even though I thought the animation was cool, nothing topped BoJack Unbound, because BoJack Unbound is just BoJack Unbound is just awesome all the way through, because it's mostly fighting. But
Yar! Shut
dude.
up, BoJack!
right, fucking. Oh, now you're going with Team 4-star. But
Yes.
no, Dragon Ball Super Broly is unbelievable. You're like, oh, you'll be watching and be like, okay, the animation's kind of good, like that's all right, and then you start getting into it and you're just like, oh
It
my
is
God. Like,
amazing.
they just start stepping up the level, and then they just hit a point where it's so fucking good. Dude,
Yeah.
so much better. I accept that Dragon Ball retcon because they retconned Broly there. And
Oh my
don't
gosh,
get me wrong,
yeah.
the original Broly movie totally fine. I love the original Broly
I
movie.
don't.
That I oh, come the fuck
But
on.
he's so cool. But that is so dumb.
No, that's Team 4-star.
Yes,
But
and
he's
they're,
so
and they're
cool.
right.
But he's
And
so
they're right.
fucking dumb. I agree.
He's motivated by a crying infant. He's a literal giant fucking baby.
Love that.
But the Super Broly, they gave him a much better story.
They did, but I'm sorry, I don't care. They were like, I just love that, like, because Toriyama had very little to do with that first movie. He didn't even like he came up with the design. He didn't even remember Broly. Anyway, that's a whole story. Hey, Mr. Daniel P. Riley from Whimsyland, what do you do? Where can we find you?
Well, I am Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org, literary coaching and services. I help creators get to where they want to be through editing, coaching, and a multitude of other services, including
have a link.
No, of course not. It's
Why don't you have a
whimsyland.org.
link?
It's right there on the screen.
Fucking
right
queer
next to my
just
name.
put a link. It's such a fucking
It's
hard
right
to
next to my
I
name,
hate you
Royce.
so much right now.
Shut up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up because I gotta go find your fucking link that you won't fucking.
I have many things in production, and one of them, since this is sort of a Christian-oriented story, is a series of children's stories about Catholic saints. And I'm hoping by December to have St. Mary and St. Joseph completed and put out there for everyone to enjoy over the holiday season. Now, because I really enjoy the concept that Andrew has come up with and put out there in the world, I would like to put a link and some information about his King of Justice comic book in the resources section of my Saints project, so that others who enjoy it can also be clued into this fantastic comic.
So it's sort of like
for that link that Daniel didn't share.
Yes,
you'll be able from the link that I shared. You'll be able to go and find, Andrew's link in the link that.
Well, you'll be
Daniel
able to find
didn't
Andrew's
share
comic book featured in the resource section of this
the resources
physical book
Oh.
that is a combination of comic strips in a chibi format and some information that parents can read to their children to
On the
make
link
that
that the parents
interactive
don't
fun.
have, unless I
It's
share
not
it.
out yet, Royce. Shut up. It'll
sounds
be
like-
out in December,
Like,
most likely.
Well, you have
now,
a fucking link by December.
yes, I will. Now,
what's
more recently, thank you very much. More recently, October 1st will be the release of my new book and short series, Modern Horrors.
Probably not. It's not going to be a link for that.
It's in the private chat, Royce.
Oh my God! Did you really?
Yes.
Oh.
That would be the Amazon link to the pre-order of the Kindle
Oh
version.
my God! Oh my God!
of
Look at that!
Heir
That
of the
is a
Dragon.
very, very low-cut shirt-wearing woman over the top
Yes.
of a man.
Now this
That
is
is
a
so
modern, this is a
Oh my.
modern retelling of classic vampire, specifically Dracula story.
Low-cut shirt woman over
Yes,
the top of a man.
low-cut shirt woman.
That's
Yes.
That's her name, actually.
That's yeah.
No, her name is the woman, and it's intentional.
Oh, that's
first
better.
name the
Yeah,
first name the last
Yes.
name woman.
We call her boobs. I mean boobs. I mean shit. I mean
It's
the woman.
true.
Melons, bazungas.
We'll talk more
What
about
the
that in a
Dragon
future show
Ball
because
City
Roy
buildings.
said that he wants me to be on to talk about this book. But
I do. I just have to give you as much shit as I can.
I know. I know.
Because
And of course, last but not least, JasonIBooks.com is where you can find my cyberpunk-ish samurai action series, including the Second Chance campaign for issue number 2, which Justin is holding.
It's good stuff, people.
Get involved. It's awesome.
Justin likes to hold books.
He does.
Does it very well.
I feel like I'm pretty good at it. You know, I'm not good at
Very-
many things, but I can
very
hold a book and point it at a
attractive
camera
book
pretty
holder.
well.
Very
Yeah.
attractive book
Oh,
holder.
well, thank
Much-
you. Thanks, Roy.
You're very good at holding junk.
Jesus fuck. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. It's
Do I have
that's not a
lots
thing
of
that
practice? No, I don't.
No, do you have lots of
I think as
practice?
men,
I don't
we all
know.
have lots of practice
Okay.
holding junk.
I was like, am I setting myself up, or is that just relatable? I'm not really
well,
sure.
yeah, depending on the night, you could be setting yourself up. It depends. Put a little candlelight on, some Marvin Gaye, lock the. Never mind. Anyway.
I am very excited about Christian-themed nerd culture, so I want to help it as much as possible.
yeah, that's right. We
It's
were
much
talking
needed.
about God.
Yeah, back on the original subject.
And how he.
You know, we don't have to talk about holding junk, Royce.
I was talking about holding books. You motherfuckers are the one that started talking about holding junk. Okay.
Oh, your fault.
Well, by the end of the show, I've had like 5 glasses of whiskey, so I'm pretty lit right now.
Daniel's so drunk he about to see God.
I see God every night, thank you.
You should really go get that checked. What's a medical
Nah,
condition?
I'll allow it.
Oh, God. Oh, it's going to be a fun weekend. I have such a busy weekend ahead of me. I have so many videos that I want to record.
Yes.
Like 4 or 5 videos I'm going to record this weekend. 3 or
And
4.
go enjoy some anniversary celebrations.
We have a lot of shit to do. That's we may or may not. We've got
And
bowling
happy
for the
birthday,
kids.
Albany.
We've got
Yeah,
videos.
really.
We've got anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out Iron Age Nights, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Later.